If you've ever wondered how quilters create all those cool stitched patterns on their quilts without being limited to straight lines, today I'll show you some of the essentials to get you started on your domestic sewing machine. Free motion quilting opens up a whole new world of creative possibilities. We can stitch anything from interlocking linear shapes that have interesting angles, like this, to structured straight lines or curves, like this, flowing horizontal patterns that can look like rippling water or maybe a cloudy sky, or playful loops like a string of happy balloons. I like to make these in different sizes, and much, much more. Hi, I'm Beth Williams. In my free motion quilting quick start classes, I help students discover their most natural starting patterns. But whether you take my classes or not, you really can do this on your domestic sewing machine, whether it's a computerized model with an extension table like mine, or a compact and beginner-friendly model like Connor's, or even a fully mechanical machine. Whatever machine you have, you'll need to make some simple adjustments to set yourself up for success. The first thing we want to look at is how to stop the feed dogs in the machine from fighting us as we move the fabric. Notice that I took this photo from the side, not the front of the machine, as I thought it would be easier to see the feed dogs this way. Feed dogs like to go forward and backward, not every which way. So right now they're poking up, so we'll need to get them out of the way. Lowering the feed dogs will prevent the machine from fighting the movement of the free motion foot as we stitch. Check your manual. If your machine has a special setting for free motion quilting or free motion embroidery, try it. This may automatically drop the feed dogs, but if your machine does not automatically lower the feed dogs, you'll need to do it manually. But don't worry, it's not hard. If you have a computerized machine, you might have a feed dog icon on your screen, like the one I've circled in red. Or, and this is particularly likely if you have a mechanical machine, although some computerized machines have it too, you might have a lever that you'll need to slide in order to lower the feed dogs. Sometimes this lever is on the front of the machine, sometimes it is on the back, like it is here on Connor's machine. Next, you'll want to choose a presser foot that will perform well for you. Unlike a regular presser foot, a free motion foot doesn't work with the feed dogs to keep the fabric moving during the stitching process. That's what your hands are for. And that's what gives us so much freedom. There are many different variations of these feet. They might be called a darning foot, free motion foot, spring embroidery foot, or even a hopping foot. They're all variations of the same thing, and generally any will work as long as it fits your machine. However, if you have the option, I recommend a free motion foot with a C-shaped, wide-open toe, such as the ones I've highlighted in the red frame. I feel they offer the best visibility. The open C, where the foot comes in contact with the surface of the quilt, allows you to see clearly all the way to the needle, which can be a big help as you're figuring out which way to go next. If you can, I recommend using an extension table for support. You can quilt without one, but it will mean more frequent repositioning to keep your hands from sliding off the edge of the machine while you work. So Steady is a popular brand if an extension table doesn't come with your machine. This quilt was quilted by my friend Terry of Threadtails Quilt Works, but I'm using it to show how an extension table can support the quilt while it's in the machine. And notice also that the portion of the quilt that is passing through the machine to the right of the needle has been softly folded so that it's nice and squishy. I haven't rolled it up into a firm cylinder that would probably be a lot more difficult to manage. Whether you have an extension table or not, quilting gloves can be a big help. They'll give you better traction on the quilt so that your hands won't be so likely to slip, and it will take significantly less physical strength to control the quilt. This is the particular brand that I use, but there's lots of other great options. You just want something that is comfortable on your hands and helps you move the quilt more easily than with your hands alone. Now, let's talk about the stitching process. With free motion quilting, stitch direction and length are completely controlled by how fast you run your machine and how you move the fabric with your hands. Moving the fabric quickly or running the machine slowly leads to longer stitches. Moving the fabric slowly or running the machine quickly leads to shorter stitches. So it's all about finding a good balance between how fast you're running your machine and how fast you're moving your hands. And when I talk about running your machine, I'm referring to how fast the needle is going up and down. If you have a speed control on your machine, and it might look similar to this, or it might look a little different, try setting it at a comfortable pace so that you can focus on how your hands are moving the fabric instead of trying to manage everything at once. Not so slow that your stitches are long and wonky, and not so fast that your stitches are super short. Some folks like to free motion quilt at pretty high speeds, myself included, but if you're going so fast that you no longer feel in control, that speed can be completely counterproductive. Sometimes it's better just to slow down and stop with your needle down in the fabric as often as you need to. Take a breath and visualize where you need to go next before starting again. Since how fast we're running the machine and moving the fabric determines how long the stitches will be, in theory, it shouldn't matter what your stitch length setting is on your machine when you're free motion quilting. I've circled the stitch length setting on Connor's machine so you'll know what it looks like. While I can leave mine on the default setting of 2.0, and I've circled what that stitch length looks like on my machine, some machines seem to prefer if you set the stitch length down almost, but not quite, all the way to 0. This seems to happen more often with mechanical machines, but it's not a rule. It's just something to be aware of. The key is practice. And don't judge. Don't judge yourself and don't judge your work while you're learning. Give yourself some grace. None of us mastered free motion quilting overnight. And once you get the hang of it, it can be a whole lot of fun. Happy quilting!